Also, like webkinz YouTube was like a really big thing. Like all I would do is watch like my favorite ones, like Webkinz Lover 93. That my name is Nicole Rafiee. I have a bachelor's degree. We are requesting you, Josh Ovalle, to come onto the Internet is Dead podcast. Please come on. We miss you so much. Where have you been?
Welcome everyone to the Internet is Dead podcast, also known as the Josh Ovalle Please Be a Guest on My podcast. I'm Brittany. I'm joined by my co-host Samira, and today we're talking to special guest Nicole Rafiee, who started on YouTube a long time ago, but she really started blowing up when you were posting like college videos.
Yeah,
At
yeah.
Temple.
It started picking up more when I was doing college videos. Specifically, a video I did that was like called "A Guy Answering Questions Girls Are Too Afraid to Ask."
Yeah, no, I have that
Yeah.
written down in my list of questions because I literally watched that video when I was like going to Temple and like when I was like looking and like because I like wanted to be the like college YouTube girl so bad, and I remember
Of
like
course.
looking up the competition, and then I found you and I like watched your videos while I went to Temple. So yeah, and now I feel like you're kind of having like a second like big like spurt.
My second coming.
Yeah, your second prime. I don't know. Like
Thank you.
making like the chronically online girl series, which is so awesome. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, yeah, like I'm happy that someone is doing it. And it was like really exciting to see that it was you. It's such a cool idea. And like obviously people are so interested in like different internet lore.
Yeah.
For anyone who doesn't know, Nicole's made like Saltburn lore videos, Frenemies, the Sister Squad, like stuff like that. But yeah, no, we're really excited to talk because, like, I don't know. I think it's like cool that you went to Temple and you like just live in Philly. It was like crazy when I emailed you and you like remembered who I was because I like had
Yes.
approached you one time on Temple campus and I was like, I watch your videos.
Yes. No, that was so, so cool. No, absolutely. Like I am so excited to be on, and like you guys are doing like awesome work. I saw like some of your guys' interview with what's his face from before. I always forget his like real name.
Oh, is Nick
Oh,
Radigan?
Nick Radigan, current
Yes.
choice, yeah.
Yeah.
That was so cool because he like totally like shaped my literally like my freshman and sophomore year of college, even to my junior year. But like literally like I used to use his music all the time in videos. No, you guys are doing awesome stuff, and
Oh,
it's
thank you.
very, very
That's so
cool.
That's so
nice.
sweet.
I do want to like ask how like online you were before getting on into YouTube. I feel like it's just like one of the most fascinating things is like hearing someone's kind of upbringing in like their like success
Yes.
like area. So
As a little girl, I always knew I wanted to grow up and be on the internet a lot. Like I always wanted to be on the computer. Like that was my thing. No, I literally like when we had a cool computer, like my like real dad growing up, like I always like make videos and joke about like I don't have a dad, but like my actual like father had like a nice like computer setup back at home. And so I took advantage of that a lot, like growing up as a kid. And so like computer time was my favorite time. But like the thing that sucked about it was like I had no limits, and like, God bless my mom, like trying to be a single mom and everything, but like she definitely did not know like the depths and the darkness that I was like entering and like the things that I was watching. I mean, it like worked out in some ways because it's like cool, I like made a career out of it, but like other ways it's like, oh my God, like those are things that websites I should not be on all the time as like a little kid. But I was like constantly very online as a kid. Like I found YouTube. YouTube was like the first internet thing I really like even did. All because I heard a girl in my class was saying like, "Oh my God, have you heard about the video Leave Britney Alone?" And I was like, What do you mean a video?" And then she's like, "It's YouTube. Like you got to go home and type in youtube.com." And I was like, "Got it." And then I immediately became hooked with like Gen X Pen and Super Mac 18 and
yes,
Ricky
Gen X
Dillon.
Pen.
Love her. Like literally those were like the people that I like looked up to, and I thought it was so cool that they were like making like music videos to like songs that were already out. I thought that was so neat and interesting, and like stop motion was really big back then.
It was like the video star era kind
Yes.
of.
Yeah.
Also like webkinz YouTube was like a really big thing. Like
Yeah, I was on there
Yeah,
too.
I remember that.
I loved it. I ate that shit up. Like literally, like all I would do is watch like my favorite ones, like Webkinz Lover 93. That was my girl. And like I would just watch these stop motion videos and I was like, I need to do this. But like I started off making webkinz videos and then until I like grew the confidence to like have my face on camera, and that's why I started making like stop motion videos. And I eventually started doing kind of like skits. It's basically like short form, almost like, or bits, I guess you could say. It's like short form of like kind of what I do now on my podcast, which is just like a long running stupid 1 hour bit. But I was very much so very chronically online because
Mhm.
when there was drama on the internet, I was immersed. I knew everything, the ins and outs, the details. I watched every video that there could possibly be about it. And there wasn't like drama channels back then. There was Buckley, Tyler Buckley, something, what the buck. He like kind of made stuff about it, and like Press Hilton a little bit, but they didn't like touch
Perez
on that much on.
Hilton.
Perez
Yes.
Hilton.
Celebrities hated him.
Oh,
Also,
absolutely.
like what you were saying, I like really wanted to like go over a little more like about the webkinz kind of pipeline, because
Hmm.
I was talking about this the other day where I was like, it's crazy because I remember getting on webkinz in like kindergarten, and it was kind of in a weird way the first like form of social media when like
Yeah.
social media wasn't a
Mhm.
thing, and like same with just like Club Penguin, like Animal Jam, like all those websites. So I think it makes like a lot of sense, like people getting into that first, like especially as young kids, because they just want to like talk to people online. And it's like just funny that we just have that urge inside of us to talk to people online.
No, literally. Like I'm not like an outgoing person, and I wasn't like, whatever, but I had so much confidence. I had way too much confidence on webkins. I had way too much confidence on like Club Penguin and WeWorld. WeWorld was like a different breed for me. Like that was a very sinister and dark place for me.
WeWorld
But
was
like
so bad.
I had like 10 boyfriends, 10 girlfriends. I don't know what I was doing on there. Like that website, that's the website that should be banned immediately. Like I think it still might
Yeah.
be around. I don't think anyone's using it, but
Well,
still, but
Well, I know
yes.
all Flash games are like gone now, but I don't know if that was on
yeah.
Flash.
Oh, that's right. Oh my God, I forgot
It's
about like
really
flash games.
sad. I was just thinking about
Wow.
how sad it is because that was so formative for like
Yeah,
so many of us, and it's sad that kids don't have that now, and it's just like straight to TikTok, you
I
know,
know.
like
Yeah.
I know. I did a lot of like my formative years, like building, playing the same games on disneychannel.com all the
Oh my
time, or
God,
like
yeah.
yeah.
my scene, like the my scene girls and everything. And like, that makes me so sad that they will never experience. I honestly do feel like the webkins, even though YouTube is like an adult website and like made for adults, I do feel like the webkins community was for the most part like pretty well, like there was teenagers on there. Like there were teenagers making like webkins videos, and I was like maybe like 9 when I started doing
Mhm.
stuff on there, 8, 9, 10. But the community, like there was drama. There was like adult esque drama. But like when I say drama, it's more so like people being like, you copied the name of my polar bear, and that is really messed up, and you should not be doing that, and you need to apologize immediately. And like it was just one of those things where I felt like I do feel like that was part of my childhood experience, and I'm happy that I like got that. And it
Mhm.
does make me sad that I don't think that there's as much. You know what? But I think My Littlest Pet Shops are coming back.
We
Don't
really
know
That's
if
need that.
something.
kids are as
Yeah.
into it as like 20 something year olds. Regardless, I'm still happy for whoever's like into it.
Yeah.
No, I think it's also interesting just like being a part of like when YouTube started, and it was kind of there were these small communities of these niche topics where I feel like things can't be found as easily, like right in
Yeah.
this like current state of things, because there's so much. And like I feel like that's been talked about so much, but I don't know. It's just interesting because I also like remember having that experience of like with like Club Penguin, where like there were these like famous Club Penguin YouTubers, and like
Mm.
if you saw them on like in the world, like it was like this whole thing, and like
Yeah.
there was like drama in the Sims community. Like I just think
Yeah.
that like whole like concept is so interesting because it's like I don't know. It's just like funny that like no matter like how a community forms, there will be like so many weird kind of like social dynamics like that are like byproducts of it.
There's also something interesting about how these communities like on the internet, at least from what I remember, the goal was not to like blow up and be huge and be like the next big YouTuber, because that was not even like an idea put into our heads yet. Like
Mhm.
like there were some bigger YouTubers, but like it was so rare, and like that was the celebrities of of our time, like when we were kids on there and everything. But like, if you were making webkinz videos, you solely made it for your little webkinz community on there, like however many like dozens or hundreds of people were watching you. And the intention was never to be like, I'm going to create the best webkinz video so that this goes viral and that this gets like a million views. Like that was not the goal. That was like,
Yeah.
what do my small like little niche group and community want next for me? Like that's why I remember webkinz lover 93 all these years later. I don't know what the hell she's doing now. Assume that she's born in 93, so that makes her like 31 now. Hope that she's happy. I hope that
That's
she's
crazy.
doing great. I remember she like loved Taylor Swift. Like I still remember
Oh.
all these things about her. And like her bedroom and like what it looked like. That sounds so creepy, but like I remember all
No, but
these
it's
things.
impactful. Like it
Yeah.
Absolutely. You could tell me right now that she either had like 80,000 subscribers or 80 subscribers, and I would believe you. But like the community felt so extremely like small, and it meant everything to me.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I do miss that, and I miss the fact that like people probably won't get that opportunity as much now anymore because things are just so fast, and it's not the goal to like really have like a small community anymore. And like I'm guilty of that too.
Well, by
Yeah.
the time you got on YouTube, like how dissipated do you feel like that kind of was? Because I know you more so you were like posting for a while, but like again, like more so kind of popped off like making college videos.
Yeah. I feel like, well, it was always just my goal to make videos for myself because that's like the only time I felt like the most like creatively fulfilled. I never made it with the intention of subscribers because I genuinely did not think that I could do that. Like that was not my goal with things. But I remember when I started, I feel like the community was there. Like I kind of feel like the community of people that had watched me back then and like the kind of people that watch me now, it's kind of a similar community, or like the types of people who like would come up to me when I had like a couple thousand subscribers and may have noticed my videos or like been on campus and be like, I watched your room tour. It's the same kind of people who like will approach me now and will say like, I watch your videos, which is so cool. It's always like girls around my age or high school age, college, and like we all tend to always look alike. Like that is like my favorite thing. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, we all will have the same haircut. We
Girls
all
with
have the same
bangs.
jewelry.
That's
Girls with
funny.
bangs. We all like the same like music, like everything. And I'm like, I just feel like that my community hasn't changed that much in that regard.
Yeah.
So it's been cool. It has felt very like genuine to who I am. And if anything, it's been like my goal, if anything, to like push away like certain communities to not join like in watching my videos. I have never been a safe space for guys. Like
And there's a
Yeah.
reason for that.
Yeah.
Right. I have never once been like, I'm gonna appeal to the boys in this video. Like that has never happened. And like
Yeah.
if it does happen, it's an accident. I think I mean I still think to this day there it still is there, like the community is there. Like there are TikTokers now who, it's so weird to say like a small TikToker will only have like 40,000 followers because that is a ginormous like following.
Mhm.
But like there are people who are like underground, or like your friends may not know of them, but I somehow have followed them on TikTok for like years and years and years, and I like know all these details about their life and like their routine, and have watched them like get married and whatever and do like things with their life, and like it's very exciting to me. So I think that want for a smaller niche community is still very much there, and I think it thrives in its own like new different way.
Like how long do you feel like it took you to like start making videos that were like reaching like that community and like that audience and stuff? Like just kind of like the journey of like when you like first started posting to like that pipeline of like, okay, like they started like gaining engagement and stuff.
I think it definitely took a few months. Like I had videos that like totally like did not get any views or like did not see the light of day or anything. I think once I started making videos that felt like very authentic to myself, and kind of what a day in my, like even like kind of vlogs, or once I started kind of being honest and transparent and having like deeper conversations without having to make the whole entire video like sad or deep or whatever, or like just kind of expressing my thoughts and what I was going through and what I was thinking. I like had kind of a hard time in college, and like I think once I started being honest about that, that first of all helped me as an outlet to be able to talk about it on YouTube. But people will gravitate towards that, especially because
Yeah.
it'll end up on their page or whatever, and they resonate with it and they stick around. And so I think it took quite a few months, if not like a couple years for me to like really see that I was like, oh shit, like this is something that it's not just me talking to myself. It seems to kind of be like I'm slowly gaining a little collection of girls with bangs.
Wanted to go back to what you said about like having a hard time in college and just like in general, like making videos in college. Like, I do want to know, like, was that hard to balance? And like, what was it like to be like attending Temple University while like kind of garnering a platform from social media?
No, it was definitely a little bit difficult in the sense that like while I was building this audience and while I was like making these videos where I was intended to like make someone's day or have like a fun little video to make or whatever, while I'm like going through like a treacherous time of my life, that was very hard for me. Like that was very hard for me to kind of like uh navigate that. I was having a hard time with like not only like my own passions and like what I even wanted to do in school. Like I didn't even know if I wanted to stay in school, what I wanted to study or anything. While struggling like with mental health, while struggling with like roommate issues, while like struggling with job security and like even like wondering, am I gonna even have a place to like live? Am I gonna like there was so much up in the air. For
Mm.
context, like I was an RA and there was just so much
Yeah, I remember your videos
complications.
about that.
Yeah.
Yes, there was so much complications towards the end of like my time being an RA and like things just it seemed like I had to kind of basically choose to either be lack of a better word like a puppet for like the university and like be kind of like this like standout like model citizen that they could be like look like this is an example of a perfect student who's always happy and like is never and then you would watch my videos and some of my residents would watch my videos and I'd be like I'm struggling such big time like I cannot complete any of my schoolwork like I'm not eating like I'm not doing well and like it was it was strange it was really really weird and it I unfortunately feel a lot of creative like inspiration when I'm not doing the best mentally which sucks and
I
like I
think that's
have
so
done
normal though.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I would almost like feel sad, like once I was like in a good spot again, and like I was like, I don't know what to do now. Like I have no
Yeah.
idea what to make videos
Yeah.
about. And now I'm in a much better spot where I feel like I'm kind of like in this rhythm and this, you know, I'm simultaneously in a good place while also feeling inspired, and that's fun. And I'm also not basing YouTube success off of, you know, I'm not basing my happiness off of that anymore. So that
Mm.
has definitely like helped it so much. But um, yeah, it was definitely a difficult thing to navigate through at the time. And what else did you ask? You asked about how
Well, I'm like curious what was like contributing having like a like kind of lonely like college experience. Yeah.
no, I definitely did. I definitely did feel lonely at times, but also sometimes that was like my own self-isolation.
Mm.
I think I knew going into college I was not very into like partying or going out, and I'm not a very extroverted person. I'm also not necessarily an introvert. Um, but when I found myself in situations like going out, going to parties, being in really big group settings, I really didn't like myself and I didn't really like what I was doing. And so in my brain, I was like, okay, well, that leaves me with one other option, I guess, like just self isolate because I couldn't manage to think what else I could be doing. I also had a lot of
Mhm.
anxiety about seeing certain people out in public, and it just kind of led me to wanting to stay in my room like a lot of the time. And so I masked it with being like, well, I'm when you're an RA, you get to like pick up shifts, you get to choose like what shifts you decide to take and I would choose shifts like the Halloween weekend shifts that I would work all weekend, which basically means like you're not allowed to leave the dorm within like a
Mm.
5 minute radius. Like you're only allowed to
Mhm.
go get food and like come back. But you're supposed to be in the building technically all weekend. So I would like purposely pick up like Halloween weekend or like the most fun weekends or like homecoming weekend so that I could have an excuse to like work. But I missed out on a lot of like socialization in that time. And I
Mm.
do regret that big time um, because not necessarily that that was necessarily what I needed to go out and do, but I wish I would have just done anything else. I definitely had a lot of friends around me, but it was this kind of thing where, you know, your hometown friends understand you on the level because they have grown up with you and they understand you through all those like, you know, important years of your life. And then you get to college and your college friends only understand you from the time that they met you in college and don't get like that backstory on you. And I
Mm.
was like, oh man, like I just never felt like I connected fully with people until like I have a few friends that I really feel like I connected with. And they're the people who made me want to stop like making excuses and forcing myself to work or like forcing myself to make videos so that I could spend time with them. And I think a lot of people are very, very lonely in college, whether they're surrounded by people or not. It's just
Yeah.
like whether they want to admit it. I know a lot of people are like, well, I feel like I have so many friends because I'm making videos and there's so many people like commenting and I feel like we're all friends and like I'm finding myself and everything. I would still be extremely like I could never 100% relate to that because at the end of the day, like I was filming for what, like an hour out of my day and like the camera turns off and I'm alone in my room again. And like I could
Yeah.
pretend all I want, like I'm talking to a friend, but like I was very self-aware that I was like,
Mm.
oh my God, you're sitting here fucking alone while everyone is out doing stuff and having fun. And like it's all over the internet, it's all online, it's all on Instagram, and it's all over like other schools. They look like they're having a better time than you. Um, and so I don't regret those times, but I also do. It's very weird.
I
Yeah.
feel like
Well,
it's like insane how like people's college experiences look so different online because I remember watching all those like kind of I don't know just like preparing before I went and like looking and like seeing like thinking it was like something kind of like so different and I think everything online can do that to you and like put a different idea of something in your head. But I
Mhm.
don't know. Just thank you for like sharing that also in general because
Yeah.
I like definitely relate to that. Like I had such like a hard time like my freshman year especially because I like just like didn't even know there was like another option of like almost like friendship. Like they kind of like present this idea of like join like a sorority and like you'll make friends and I was like mm-mm. But like I like just didn't know there were other humans who were like normal until I like found them and they like kind of proved it to me, you know? So I like feel like it's so normal to like go through like this like spout of loneliness when you first like are trying to meet people and like no one's just like kind of like clicking, you know?
like weird pressure, especially with like you talking about like Halloween weekend and like those weekends in particular. Because I like literally have a Snapchat memory of like myself like alone like freshman year in my like dorm like on Halloween weekend because I like literally had like no friends and I like spent every single weekend either like at home like at my parents' house or just like alone. And yeah, like it just like is this like insane pressure of like, oh, like I have to be doing something this weekend or I have to be going out.
And I like also forced myself to hang out with people who I didn't care to hang out with sometimes. Like
Hmm.
that's not me
Mhm.
trying to be shady, but I don't think those people wanted to hang out with me either. Like we were
Yeah.
like a very unlikely pairing and we were only together out of like loneliness and out of like what's the word I'm looking
Like
for? Out of
proximity kind of.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Or out of convenience. Like
Yeah.
and you know, we like sure it was fine, but like sometimes I look back and like I feel really bad for saying this, but I'm 100% sure that these people can say the same things about me. Like sometimes I'm like, I have no idea how I met that person or why I hung out with them that day and did that thing, or I have no idea. I don't remember their name. Like, I don't know why we hung out. I don't know why they were at my dorm. I don't know why I was at their dorm. I like,
Hmm.
we had nothing in common. And it was like both of us, or even like a group of people, all experiencing this kind of like, shit, we're so alone. And like, I guess this is better than being alone. But I think I grew up to learn like, I am enjoying my own company a bit more than hanging around people who I don't really have anything in common with, and it's not a bad thing. It's just that sometimes your own company is better than being with random people who are all just lonely and like looking to fill like this void with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I like think about it, like, because I like so went through that like period, I feel like in trying to figure out what's like kind of like misdirecting me is I feel like I just like didn't know exactly what I was looking for. And I feel like that's like such a problem for like young people like during those like years. Because it's just hard to know what you actually want and you haven't like been through enough experiences of friendships to know like what you're looking for and what like really like works for you, I guess.
Do you feel like now like that you've like made a career kind of for yourself like out of YouTube and content creation and stuff, do you ever like regret going to college or like having any of the experiences you had?
No, not at all. I think I definitely did the right decision for me. I think I went in very unknowing what I want, and I look at that person. I mean, truly, like when they say like 17-year-olds making decisions about like that much money and like a whole like education and career, like really shouldn't. But like and some people do. Some people really know what they want to do, and good for them. And like I'm so happy for them, and they made the right choice for them. But I know for a fact, like looking back, I wouldn't trust 17-year-old Nicole to be making like that long term of a decision again. Like I would not put that into her hands. I don't know why my mother did that, but I wouldn't do that to me. And I'm
Well,
grateful that she did. But I just like I can't I can't imagine me not going to college. I don't know what I would have done with my time, and I think it really pushed me out of my comfort zone, pushed me to like leave my hometown for the very first time. It pushed me to do all these things that I don't think I would have ever imagined myself to do. I don't really think if I think if I stayed in my hometown, I don't know if I'd be making YouTube videos. Like I don't know if I would have gained the confidence. I think a big thing that helped me gain the confidence was leaving a lot of opinions behind, like quite literally,
Mm.
like physically, like and not being around that or not being able to surround myself with like the shame and fear of like what people might say because YouTube makes me so happy and it brings me so much joy. I don't regret it for 1 second. Like,
mm,
yeah, having a degree is very cool and everything, and I'm very grateful for that. And like, I'm grateful for like the people that I met and everything, and like the experiences I had. But I do think like ultimately, I was meant to come back and like make videos again to like fulfill like little childhood Nicole. And I don't know if I would be doing that in the same capacity if I hadn't gone to Temple.
do you like regret it all going through coursework because you have this like career that you really didn't like need to get a degree for?
No, because it like taught me a lot about discipline. Like I
Yeah.
really learned a lot about like pushing myself to do stuff I don't want to do. I am the type of person, I really struggled with this in the beginning of like COVID and like when classes were on Zoom, but I really struggled with like forcing myself to do things I didn't want to do. Yes, some people really don't want to do things, but I was like, I am the type of person, if I don't want to do something, I can't do it. If I don't want to learn something, I can't learn it. And I was so stuck on that. And eventually I somehow still would. Like I would force myself through it and like I would be like absolutely like gritting my teeth through it. But now that I'm like an adult, there's a lot of things I don't want to do. And there's a lot of things I do want to do. And it makes me feel grateful now about how many decisions I can make for myself and how much I guess how little there are things that I don't want to do in a very privileged way, forced to be put through something difficult like college, which is like whatever. But like I'm grateful that I got the opportunity to push through that and like finish it and prove to myself like I could do a hard thing. And now I have like knowledge in the back of my pocket. And also I still use my degree like with YouTube. So honestly,
Mm.
it kind of works.
Topics a little bit, but not really. Like, what was like your experience of like first blowing up on your first like viral video, like that one that you made in college? The boys, wait, what is it? I have it written down. A guy answering questions that girls are too afraid to ask. Because I remember watching that video and being like that was like a big trend going on at the time too. Like was like people being like, "Oh, like what do guys think about girls?" Like,
Literally.
you know, and that's just
Yeah.
like so funny to reflect on and also just like very
Yes.
reflective I think of like where we were at mentally, like especially during like college years and like what people were looking for online. But yeah, what was that experience like for you?
So transparently, I made that video because I would get a lot of my inspiration, not to be annoying, but I had TikTok before it was cool. I had TikTok back when I would have to like delete it off my home screen so that my friends wouldn't see it because it was like embarrassing.
Did
Or
you
I
have
would
it when it
sit
was
at
musically?
no, I didn't. I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't. And for
I
that,
wanted
like
to
I
know.
was a little bit too old to have it for Musically, but I was when it was called TikTok and I would like sit in the student center, I would like eat my lunch and I would like scroll on it like really like quietly and like in a corner so that nobody could see like what I was doing because it was embarrassing. Like my whole For You page was like furries and like also like very cringy content. So I would get a lot of inspiration from videos I saw on there. Like I would think to myself like my goal started to be around that time when I made that video was I'm gonna make 2 videos a week. And my goal and intention was, okay, either I can like give 110% into one video a week and I absolutely have to love it and it's like my pure heart and soul and I love it more than anything, or I can make 2 videos a week that I give like 99% into. And so part of that was like kind of like doing one video for myself and doing like an experimental video. Like that was kind of like my routine. I never really liked collabing with people or like working along with people, which is very funny because now I like make videos all the time with my friend Jake. But like if anything that like speaks to him and like our relationship together because I want to be making videos with him, but I am a very solo type of person. I never like group projects. I always want to do everything on my own. And I saw on TikTok that started to be a trend, like guys answering questions girls are too afraid to ask. And I was like, oh my God, I need to make a YouTube video out of this. And like it was hard to find like who the original person was on TikTok. And I don't mean to be like, I pioneered it and I started on YouTube. But just saying that the trend did start after I posted my video. There weren't that like there were not any other videos with that topic on YouTube until after I made it. And that is one of my biggest regrets. I hate that I did that. I can't like be too mad at myself because like I mean it really helped my career. The video was made in all like funniness and like not meant to be like too serious and like this the guy who's coming over was like my roommate's friend anyway and like I didn't even know him that well, like we were like mutual friends and
He
I was
was
like
so
you want
temple. Like he
he
was
was
so
So
very
temple.
temple.
he
When
was
I
very
watched that, I
simple.
was like, this guy goes to temple.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so I knew in that moment like you know I already had like this good rapport with this guy and like we didn't know anything about each other, but we had good banter and we're like, you know what? Like I can do a video with this guy. I could do a video with this guy. Like I could try this out. My regret with all of that is that those videos becoming like really popular, I never intended for it to become like girls actually taking uh to face value or actually giving a shit what guys wanted. If anything, I just kind of wanted to showcase in my video like how silly some of these responses were and how like they didn't make any sense and like clearly like that was not me. Like there were so many comments being like, oh my God, she's so in love with him. Oh my God, he's so in love with her. Oh my God,
I
like they're so
remember
attracted
seeing
to each
those
other.
comments.
Oh my God. And like, oh my God, he's describing the kind of woman that he wants, like is her. And like all of his responses are the complete opposite of me. Um,
That's so funny.
I had a boyfriend at the time anyway, but like literally, like I am the epitome. I don't give a rat's ass to like appeal to any man's like wants or like the male gaze or anything. Like I don't care. And so I thought, you know, to my whole like, you know, banged girlies with my audience that I had, I thought we were making it clear that like, yeah, these guys' responses, we're not going to take it to heart because that's not, you know,
They're
that's
just
not what we
dudes.
stand.
Like,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not what we stand for. It reached a bigger audience, which I am grateful for. But then it reached people, you know, recreating that video and then you know asking more questions. And then I'm 100% positive that it has caused some sort of self consciousness in other women because of like these videos, because of like what these guys' responses are, and giving them too much credit, whatever, like for their responses. And I did not intend to start doing that or want to do that or whatever. And that's kind of like when I was like, all right, I'm done. Like I'm like exiting this. That is so awesome. And I'm so grateful that I have garnered an audience from this and I'm gonna go back to my like regularly return scheduled programming. Like my next video was literally like me dressing up as Baby Yoda. It was crazy on campus. It was crazy to be like people like actually being like, I watched your videos finally, like for the first time. And like I was like, do you think that these are the only videos that I make now? Like am I like known
Oh.
forever as the girl who makes the caring about what guys say video or whatever? Like I don't want to be that. And so that's when I knew, like, I was like, I need to keep moving with things. Like, I need to just keep going and on to the next thing. I cannot harp on this too much.
Well, that's
Yeah.
crazy
Well,
because I didn't know that you were like kind of the person who brought it to YouTube. Because I like saw yours. Like yours was like the few of them that I did watch. But it's just like funny to hear that and also like crazy how things just escalate so suddenly on the internet. But
Yeah,
like that response makes so much sense because I used to watch those videos and be like, guys, what on earth? But like it is just like funny because these guys, like half of them are not thinking like nearly as deeply as the people who are like watching the videos and taking the like answers in, and that's just like kind of reflective. Like obviously like not all guys don't think or anything, but some guys don't think and a lot of them are
absolutely.
the ones being questioned, and I think that's like just really funny. And like I don't know, it's just funny that people didn't really understand that that's kind of what you were trying to do. And it, I don't know, people take things at like such like a weird level. Like, I don't, this like is a kind of like off topic story, but not really. Like, me and Samira have been like promoting the podcast on TikTok.
oh.
And I posted this TikTok like on purpose, like thinking it was so stupid and being like, oh, this will be funny. Like, this will trick people. And then like, I don't know, like it'll like promote the podcast or whatever. It was literally me being like I wrote in text like while I was at like like Rittenhouse Park, and I like wrote like how many days in a row do you guys wear your jeans? And I posted it with like a video of me like with wind blowing in my hair and a Lana Del Rey song, of course, because that's gonna get them. And it literally got 6 million views on TikTok,
Oh shit.
and it's like crazy to me because I like did it because I was like, this will get them, and it's like so stupid. Like this is like I made the caption like I'm like messing with y'all, like yeah, and like it's just like hilarious that
Yeah,
people like I don't know. There's like a whole side of the internet that doesn't like think too much into things, which is like fine, but it's just really funny.
Yeah.
absolutely. And also like especially like when you're like, this is the one that's gonna get them. Like it also always like backfires on you. Like
Mm.
I can't tell you how many times like I'll make a stupid dumb video or joke or whatever and it'll go over people's heads and then I'm like taken seriously and I'm like, oh no, that's not what I meant by this. Like I was totally being like ironic or I was joking or sarcastic or whatever it may be. And so I think the best thing to do like in those situations is like the people that get it, the people that don't, and like keep it moving because if you sit there and try to over explain yourself, it just drains you. That's why I didn't like I tried not to harp over those videos because I got requests to do a bunch of like do another video like what girls actually think about guys or like whatever it may
Yeah.
be. But
Mm,
I was like, I want to move on from this as fast as possible because this became something that I didn't intend for it to be. And this became more of a trend, like actually giving guys a say, like what they think about like women's body
mm,
hair. And like clearly, like I am not like
yeah.
if you
Yeah.
follow me or if you watch my videos at all, then you will clearly know that I am not one to preach anyone should be following the male gaze. And so
Mhm.
I was like, I just got to keep going and do whatever I want with this, and I will use this as a stepping stone. And sometimes that means, you know, being misunderstood. But if anything, it's kind of fun. After a while, like posting TikToks and like getting misunderstood for like the hundredth time, and like it's like another really stupid video, and like I think it's similar to how like for example Emma Chamberlain, like I guess this is the
Yeah.
only thought that comes to mind, but like she always made jokes about like not showering and not bathing, and then like
Mhm.
she clearly did, but then it like turned into this whole thing like she's the stinky YouTuber. And like it's like, well, now I'm misunderstood and now I'm the stinky YouTuber. And so now I either have to like explain myself and be like, guys, I do shower, or you can just keep moving on and then eventually you'll like work with the Met Gala and like other shit. And like so it's just
Yeah.
like kind of how you respond to that kind of stuff. And like either you use it to your advantage or you let it kind of bring you down, which I'm happy that I did not let it bring me down because I should have been excited that that was like my number one video. But if anything, I was just bummed out because I was like, I'm bummed out that this video with a guy in it is the first video, like an attractive looking guy is like my
Yeah.
number one most viewed video when I've been working so hard on videos this for a couple of years now. I'm bummed out about this, but I had to like switch my perspective about things and be like, I can't like be sad about this. I need to just keep going with it.
That's what I was gonna like say or like comment on was like the fact that because I remember also like so many of the comments being like, oh my God, he's so cute, like da 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 whatever. Like, and it's like crazy that like that was like the video that like blew up out of like all of them, or like the first video that like blew up. I feel like it is just like a lot of young girls, like girls in like middle school or like high school even, who like watch those videos during that time, because I feel like I watched those videos a lot in like middle school and high school, of being like, oh my God, like what is this guy like, what do guys think? Because I like didn't have any guy
Absolutely.
friends, and so I was just like curious. And yeah, I feel like it's just so weird how that like warps your brain, like the body hair thing, like the Nash Grier video, like that like
Oh
Yes,
my God.
affected so many like girls' like brain chemistry in a crazy way.
That like taught me
absolutely.
what feminism was when I was young.
Yes,
Like
100%. That's exactly, that's like how I feel like that. I mean, I'm no, like I'm guilty of that too. Like if we had to do a deep dive on like the comments that I have left on pages, like with my old YouTube account, like with my webkinz YouTube account, I know I'm thirsting for boys on there. I know I probably thirsted after Supermac 18. Like I know I probably thirsted after like Connor Franta and Troye Sivan.
well, but they were
And
like
so
femboys, so like it's kind of more like it's like okay, like they should have girls pining for them. They
Yeah,
can.
they're also gay.
Yeah, true
I can look
as
back on
well.
all of that like fondly and be like, Nicole, you were in the right. Like you were on the right side of
Yeah.
history when you commented this. I completely like I get it. That like, you see a cute boy, you're young, you're gonna like comment on that or whatever. And I'm not upset at those people at all. Like they're, what am I to be like, guys, stop commenting, he's cute. I make other videos too. But I was bitter at the time. I was like, oh,
Well, it's just funny what gets attention and what doesn't.
yeah,
It's like
Yeah.
like just in general, I feel like that's so like I mean, everyone is always like, yeah, the video that I didn't think was gonna blow up like is
yeah,
what ended up blowing up. But there is kind of like a weird logic to it of like this is kind of like the most comprehensive thing for people to like the general public and like it doesn't take that much energy to like unwork at a surface level. So if people just
yeah.
take you at a surface level, it's kind of just like appealing to everyone, if that makes sense. And I think that's part of it.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. I have those conversations all the time about like TikToks, and I'm like, I shit posted this. I was not expecting anything to come out of this, but it's cool. It's cool nonetheless.
Like since that video like blew up and stuff, and now like with the Chronically Online like girl series, and like having like so many like just like an insane amount, like do you ever feel like overwhelmed at all by like that growth? Because did it happen like kind of fast? I don't know, I feel like it's like so crazy to like look at an outside perspective, and I feel like it's more normalized now like on the internet to just like have a lot of subscribers or have a lot of followers, because there's so many
Hmm.
people making content and stuff. But like when you think about it, like it's just such an insane like number, and like such a crazy like concept that like there's just like this many people out there that are like watching you and like perceiving you.
Absolutely. I think it would have been more overwhelming had I like posted the video, and that been like my first video, and then it like blew up. But because I've been doing YouTube for a few years now, it just kind of feels like I'm having kind of like my like little slow burn moment where like it took me a few years to find the thing that I liked a lot doing and what my audience really liked watching. So if anything, it's like more gratifying than overwhelming, because it's like, oh my God, my hard work, like people are liking this, and that is so fun because I want to keep doing this. Like when I made the first Chronically Online Girl video, I had no intentions of it becoming a series whatsoever. I thought that video was gonna flop. Like that first video,
What
like that I
was
did on
the first
frenemies,
one? Frenemies?
frenemies,
Okay, yeah.
and like I thought it was gonna absolutely flop because I had a microphone issue. I like had it all edited and then I lost it all, and this microphone was like not doing good. It was like hissing like really really badly. Like it, there was so many like roadblocks that I looked at it at the final product and I was like, I think I should scrap this. Like, I think I should just not post this at all. And my friend Jake was like, what? No, you're done with it. Like, just upload it. Like, you're already done. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know if anyone's going to care for this. I don't know if anyone cares about frenemies anymore. Like, this is old news. I don't know. I don't know what I should do. And then I'm so happy that I did, because it was cool that I like got an ability to redeem myself and be like, all right, I will fix the microphone, and like I will, I'm more organized with things now. But like it's a genuinely really fun thing for me to do, and then especially recently, like me being able to like do costumes of like whoever I'm doing. Like I'm doing another video today. I'm doing a chronically online girl discusses, I don't even know the format of my own videos. I'm doing a chapel roan video. And
Oh,
so like
okay.
Oh,
I'm
that's
like
gonna be good.
super
Yeah, people are gonna
excited
love
to like
that.
I'm so excited to like do the makeup and like I have a wig and like I bought an outfit. Like I'm very excited for that. And like I have been saying for a while, like, I made video essays like the past 2 years. That was kind of like what I mainly focused on. And as much as I loved it, it was awesome. And like I felt super fulfilled doing it and I really liked it. I was like, I feel like I'm missing this like funny and creative outlet that like I was able to have with my other videos. And like I would always just kind of say, like, I wish there was an excuse for me to do really fun makeup for these videos, or I wish there was an excuse for me to be really silly and fun for these videos. And this is like the perfect like love child of all the things that I have always wanted to do. And it just kind of, it's crazy that it just came about naturally. If anything, it just kind of like lets me trust the process like creatively with making videos that I think will do bad and just uploading it anyway and just kind of like crossing my fingers and hoping for the best and like whatever happens, happens. But I guess it's not as overwhelming basically because I think it's been like a long road coming here and
Hmm.
it's not out of nowhere because like I remember there's this YouTuber Nylea. She made a lot of videos. I think it was like early 2019, maybe 2018, and like all of her first few videos, like I think our first video was like 2 million views. It was like wearing clothes that are like dress coded to school like for a week. Like she would wear
Oh,
outfits
okay.
intentionally that would get dress coded. And
Mm.
she's so funny and she's so entertaining, but she immediately blew up. That I feel like that would make me spiral because it's like, oh my God, I didn't even get the chance to like mess up a little. I didn't even get the chance
Yeah.
to like get in the groove because now I got all eyes on me. So
Mhm.
it's been very nice to be able to have like that time to kind of tweak myself and everything, and also simultaneously like take a lot of feedback from my audience about like what I think works, what doesn't work, what they want to see, what they don't want to see, and how to be a you know a normal person on the internet.
With your chronically online girl series, what do you think just like I guess in general makes people fascinated by internet culture, but why do you think those videos did so well and are still doing so well? Like when you like mentioned the H3 video, I'm like, yeah, because like people don't like it's kind of hard for people to just like go through and understand like a situation that happened online. But it's just like funny that like so many people want to know.
Yeah, I think it's like partly FOMO because people are like, fuck, there's way too much to keep up with. There's no way that you can keep up with everything all the time, everywhere all at once. Like you just can't do that. But you want to be involved, you want to know, but you don't want to necessarily take the time to put it in yourself. And it's also not that fun or entertaining to like try and piece together like everything. Like when I am researching for these videos and everything, like I'm having a good time because it's like what I like doing, but I can totally understand if you're not a fan of this like artist or anything, the process of finding out the timeline of things, that's not interesting. It's like you're doing like homework. And like simultaneously, I do give my opinion sometimes if I feel like it fits in there. And like I think also people like that as well, because I think
Mhm.
people like to be swayed to a side. I think people like to feel like they are being directed into
Like they're on a team
that
kind of.
yes, exactly. And to like have an opinion. And so there are plenty of people who like disagree with me, agree with me. I'm okay with truly either. Like I am
Mhm.
totally cool with whatever if I do like choose to share a stance on something. I'm really okay with it, but um I think people like to hear perspectives even if that means making them a little bit upset. I think people like the upset a little bit. I used to read a lot of tabloid magazines as a kid. I read a lot of like drama magazines and like J14 and People magazine, and I just read everything under the sun. Um and I like hung out with way too many like old people as a kid that like had like magazine subscriptions. And no one's doing that anymore. And it's like unless you just stumble upon a TikTok that's like giving you the rundown on things, it's kind of hard to find out. So I think that's why people like it. And like for example, I think people will like the Chapel Roan video because a bunch of people are like, okay, I keep seeing things about Chappell Roan and like she seems cool and I like this song.
Mhm.
What's her story? Why is everybody suddenly obsessed? Why should I suddenly give a shit? And
Hmm.
I think that's kind of like what we're all, we're all looking to give a little bit of a shit about everything that does not involve us necessarily.
It also is just like at the end of the day, like goes back to the root of like we all just think it's like people are so interesting and we just think
Yeah.
like celebrities are like literally just like the frenemies lore like that like is just such an interesting dynamic between like Trisha and Ethan, and even people who like didn't watch Frenemies were like, oh, this is so bizarre. And like, yeah, I think it just has to do with like that, like, oh, we just want to know like the story behind like everything, the lore behind everything.
I'm curious who some of like who are people who you've kind of had like parasocial relationships with, who you feel like you were raised by online, or just like someone who like were there any like specific videos you were really excited to make and you kind of already knew like the lore about and that you wanted to make because you were just like super invested in those people?
Oh yeah, I would say in the beginning, like every one that I made in the beginning was solely based off of like my obsessions and like things that I was super into. Now I'm starting to branch off into things that I'm like kind of interested in and want to be more interested in. So I'm kind of like learning along with the viewer. But I won't ever do a video if I like, once again, I can't do something if I don't care about it. And so like I'm never gonna make a video about someone who I don't care about. I've been asked so many times to do a video on Jeffree Starr. I have sat down so many times, like literally like ready, like typing in JEF, and like I can't do it. Like I just don't care because I'm just like, I just don't want to talk about that man anymore. And like I don't want to hear about him and I don't want to research anything about him. And so like I can't. But like for
Also, he's just been
example,
on the internet way too long to
right, and
like
like
Yeah, and like
enough.
everywhere. Yeah.
Enough. Like I just can't. And so I get questions all the time to like, Nicole, can you please do a video about like XYZ drama, or like I'm trying to think like off the top of my head, or like, can you please do one about this person? Like I don't know anything. It's like a super private person. I'm like, I don't get like selective like inside scoop or anything. Like
they
I'm on
like
the
send it to you in an
same
email. Like,
right,
Yeah.
right. I'm on the same internet that everyone's on. It's just like I try and do deep dives onto like fan forum pages and like Reddit pages
mhm.
and Twitters and like fan Twitter accounts and like whatever else.
What do you think about the future of the internet and kind of fan culture? And
I think it's gonna always be there. Like I don't think we'll ever get to a point where we feel like where we don't feel like someone is above us. I think we will always kind of like view other people as like being above us and being stars and having more responsibility than us and being more. I think that's always going to stay. I think though to a certain extent there will be I think it's already happening like on TikTok where everyone kind of is having their own 15 seconds at one point or another. Some
mm,
seconds are just like some 15 seconds are just a little bit longer. Like some people have their 20 seconds and like some people have their like 1 minute. And so I think everyone is getting a taste of that. And if anything, I think that's cool that like content creation, no matter like what medium is cool. But like, I don't know, it's to the point where like in Philly, you might see someone on the street and be like, I know them because I follow them and I watch their videos on TikTok. And like I have never had a conversation with them, but they're not a celebrity. But it is cool that I know all these like little details about their life. And we may be mutuals, but I still feel like they are above me. And like
yeah.
it's even things like that where I think if anything that's just going to continue. There's this one creator named Coco Moco. She does like media and celebrity like trend forecasting, and she's really cool. But she has like posted that she thinks that the next social media app is going to be one where it does not display followers or like following count. And so it's going to be like kind of an even playing field. I think that would be really interesting and cool to see.
Mm,
Maybe if anything, we might see. I mean, we're definitely seeing like the rise in like the pop star right now. Like for example,
mm,
like Sabrina
Sabrina
Carpenter,
Carpenter. Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, yeah, Chapel Roan. Like they are bringing pop back, and it's so fun. And it's like these
They're
girls have
awesome.
been, and they've been around for a while.
Mm.
So
There's
I
kind of
think
a gap though, if that like in like people really getting excited about it.
I agree. I agree. And like, I think it's great. I think it's great news. But maybe if anything, it'll help promote kind of like the people who have been around for a while and have been like, maybe not have been getting enough appreciation for like their art or their music or whatever it is that they do. Would Sabrina Carpenter have blown up had it not been for TikTok, like as much as she is right now? I don't know.
Mm,
Yeah.
And like I think absolutely 100% deserves to blow up and like have the success that she's having right now. But I think, you know, the help of the internet is really like to blame.
Like, do you see yourself? I feel like you kind of talked about this a little bit, but do you see yourself making content for a really long time? Is there anything else kind of like in the creative space or outside of creative space that you want to do? And if so, how do you feel like YouTube has set you up for that and like your success on the internet so far?
I think so. I think I do want to be making content. I just can't imagine my life without it. It feels like second nature to me. And I think that's like partially why when I got the courage to start making videos again, like when I was in college after like taking my webkinz hiatus. And like I think like when I felt comfortable coming back to it, that's like why it felt so easy for me and it felt so fun and like why I wanted to just keep doing more of it because I have grown up always just like wanting to do this. So I think to some certain extent I will always be doing it.
As like a kind of final question, you said that you feel like making content is like second nature to you. Does it ever feel weird or mess with you at all? Like, because I know that when I get into like spurts of just like posting on social media, and I am pretty public about myself on social media too. Like, so I can like to like an extent that obviously like isn't even comparable to someone who's making like YouTube videos all the time. So I'm really curious about how that feels for you and if that just messes with your identity at all.
I think I think it did before. I think right now I'm in a really good place where I think I feel like what I post on my regular like I wouldn't feel weird if I posted something to my close friend story, which I don't very often because that's how comfortable I feel to just post to my regular story. If something got like leaked from my close friend story and got posted public, I wouldn't feel weird about it because I'm like
Mm.
it's still so me. And I
Mhm.
feel like I have such a close relationship with a lot of the people that I had in my life prior to me doing YouTube. Like I would say a good chunk of my friends and the people in my life are in my life before YouTube even started. And like it is such a not big deal. Like it just kind of feels like a that makes sense for her kind of thing that I feel like I've been able to kind of stay myself. And if anything, I've just been encouraged to be more myself. Making the content that I want to make now has like ultimately helped with that tenfold.
Mm. I feel like in a certain way that can almost help you come more into yourself when you're spending so much time with yourself and
Yeah.
like just doing it the best way possible for you to really communicate who you are. But yeah, that's kind of all the time we have. But I do have one last thing.
Yeah.
So we kind of have all of our guests recite a little thing. Okay, so we're also known as like the Josh Ovalle, please be a guest on my podcast.
Mhm.
So we just have all of our guests like, like repeat like a request for him to come on.
Oh,
Um
good.
yeah. Do you know who Josh Ovalle is?
How do you spell his last name?
O-V
O-V
A-L-L-E,
A-L-L-E.
also known as Film Quaker.
Hmm.
Oh, him. Oh
Yeah.
Yeah.
my God. Oh my
Yeah.
God. So what exactly should I say?
I state your name and then like any credentials you have that might help. Hereby request Josh Ovalle for collaboration with the Internet is Dead podcast. Please, Josh, be a guest on the podcast. We miss you.
Um, Hi, my name is Nicole Rafiee. I have a bachelor's degree in media studies and production, and I have over 19 million subscribers and definitely over 400,000 Instagram followers. And we are requesting you, Joshua Vai, to come onto the Internet is Dead podcast. Please come on. We miss you so much. We miss you. Please come home. Where have you been?
Thank you.
Mommy misses you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
His lore is crazy. You got to do one about him.
I really
Yeah.
should. I really should. Every single time I watch
But
him
it's
read
also,
into
it's
the
like he's
intercom.
ours. Don't touch him.
No,
It's
absolutely.
our
Like
brand. No,
on
I'm
emergency
kidding.
intercom, like all the comments, they're like, "How the hell did you get Conan Gray on before your own roommate?" And I'm like, "Yeah, actually true. Actually true." Or
Yeah.
like,
Well,
who
apparently
else?
he like,
Barbie.
wait, what'd you say?
Like Barbie
Oh,
Ferreira.
yeah,
They got
no.
Barbie
I
on before
oh
their own roommate.
Well, because they're kind of linked in with the celebs.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
they're
But
in.
it's like, where's Josh?
And like
They're
he doesn't want
keeping
to
him.
go on.
I said they're keeping him from us on purpose.
They
Yeah.
are.
I think they did it on purpose so we'd make this podcast.
He's waiting to come onto this podcast.
No, but
Yeah.
like, yeah. So we're just trying to do that. Thanks for helping.
Yeah,
Of
thanks.
course. Absolutely.
Hey, thank you so
yeah,
much.
thank you so much. It's like
Of
really
course.
cool because like you literally like are in the same like city as us doing like
Yeah.
really cool things.
Thank you. No,
You're
I'm
like-
so grateful. Like, this is a great show, and you guys are gonna blow up. This is
Aw.
awesome.
Oh,
Thank you. That's so
So
sweet.
nice.
Of course.